Hi, I'm Peg Rowe, and each of us was asked to consider the question, what do you think is the one thing that a woman listening to this must do to make 2014, her year? And one of the things that I recognized for myself was that I see these kinds of questions as great questions, and then I notice that I can say the words and don't necessarily always feel connected to them. And what I tend to do is really sort of put them aside as a desire to consider them, and then sometimes I actually never get back to them. So one of the things that I'm noticing for myself is how to really be in these kinds of really powerful inquiries, so that I'm really taking advantage of these questions that get raised in a way that is really useful for me. So I gave some thought to that, and as I was considering what must a woman do who's listening to this message, the thing that really came to me is to really pay attention to what really matters to you. And the reason that I really focus on that is that when we really identify what really matters to each of us individually, and it's very unique for each of us, it's really the simplest way for me to connect to my source of inspiration, and it may be a simple way for you to connect to your source of inspiration. I also know that when I'm connected to my source of inspiration, that it's much easier for me to also find the motivation in whatever it is that I want to do or undertake. So, when we listen to what other people want, and then our desires sort of get lost in the shuffle. But when we really pay attention to what we want, then we can connect up that point of inspiration and motivation together. So going back to what I said originally about sort of like losing these questions, like hearing them and thinking they were interesting and then sort of setting them aside, I really noticed that sometimes can be a pattern for me. And I realized that when I'm ignoring that, I'm really ignoring something that really does matter to me, which is tapping into my own wisdom. So I hear those questions, and I know that part of what I process is that it's an opportunity to tap into that wisdom, but when I put it aside, then I miss the opportunity because I don't circle back to it. So I really want to be in touch with that inner guidance. And so one of the things that I'm really considering for this year is what I want to make 2014 amazing. I want to really carve out the time to be more thoughtful about these bigger inquiries. And so a couple of things that I'm definitely going to be doing this year. One is to start by taking like a moment throughout my day to find peace and connect with my inner wisdom. So, times during the day, really stop for a moment and just take that moment to sort of breathe in, get centered, and really connect to my inner wisdom. Not in a long, arduous meditative process, but in kind of a short, in-the-moment process.